Crypto Jim here, guys. Here's an update on the strategy we set up almost 3 days ago. It's been running for a couple of hours short of 3 days. What's 3 days? 72? It's about 70 hours now. And it's not doing too badly. It's the 1 hour MACD Stochastic strategy that we set up on the 16th of April. And the first buy position was 2 or 3 hours after we started the bot. We started the bot about 3:30, 4:30, I can't remember. But anyway, 6:11 p.m. on the 16th of April, it bought the first position, which was PAX G. Alright, and did it sell that eventually? Where's PAX G? If I just type it in there, it should bring up the buys and sells for PAX G. No, it's still open. So, back to the dashboard. And then we're going to set up a new strategy, guys. Alright, so I'm done testing this. It's reasonably good. If it's made 1.66% over 3 days, let's have a look. 1.66, whoa, back, divided by 3. No, 3. God, I keep getting a double click on my mouse. Hang on a second. Mouse needs to be replaced. 1.66 divided by 3 equals, alright, it's made 0.553% per day on average for the last 3 days. Now, Bitcoin was quite dumpy for 2 of those days, and it's just started bumping now, so things have started recovering. Compound daily. Let's find out $1,000 what that would bring at, what was it? Where's that calculator? Did I delete the calculator? There it is. Alright. $55333. $0.5533. That'll do. Over 365 days with 100% reinvested. Let's see how much this strategy would bring us in a year if we just left that strategy running as it was. Approximately $7,493, so it would bring us $6,493. Not too bad. It's better than the bank, isn't it? Eh? Alright, so what if we ran it for 2 years? 730 days. Alright, now, that's providing the bull market lasts for 2 years, and it might do. Fingers crossed, it will. Alright, so 56,000. So you'd make 55,000 profit. Doable if the bull market goes for 2 years after the halving. Alright, so what's 730 minus 182? Let's see what it would bring us over 18 months. 730 minus 6 months, minus 182 days equals 548. Alright, 548. Alright, so that would bring us 19,500 profit. It would turn $1,000 into 20,000. That's not bad. Not bad at all. However, I still haven't found anything that outcompetes this. Alright. 300 grand. That's the secret sauce. Alright, that's my average profits when you work them out. If I get 0% today, 0% tomorrow, I never get a loss with my secret sauce strategy, because we're using the DCA strategy, alright? And if I get 0% like 2 days ago, like I did, 0% the day after that, and then I get 4% today, well, that makes up for those bad 2 days. And if you keep going like that for a month, you might get several 0% days. Yeah, you might get a week of 0%, and then you might get a week of 3% per day. All right, and then if you average out those numbers, so if I take the calculator, if I start with $1,000, for example, and at the end of the first month, if I've got $350 profit from that 1,000, well, I can easily know that I'm making more than 1% per day on average. All right, so I just put in 30 days into there. $368 profit. So if I make like $368 profit in 1 month from $1,000, I don't need to calculate it daily. I can just calculate it at the end of the month and work out what my average was. And the average is 1.05. All right, can be more, can be more. All right, but 1.05 is the number it seems to come out at most of the time as an average. So, like I say, you can get a 0% today, you get a 0% tomorrow, then the day after you might get 3, 4, 5%. All right, I've had really good days and really bad days where I've got 0% for a long time, and then I've had smashing days where I've done incredibly well. The market doesn't go down forever, especially in a bull market, you know. In a bear market, yeah, it's a different story. The secret sauce will not do very well in a bear market. If we get to the top, let's say Bitcoin reaches 100,000 and that's its all-time high, we won't know it's in a bear market until it comes back down to like 90 or 80,000, then just keeps going down from there for the next year or two. We won't know it's a bear market until after the top. You know, you don't know the instant it's at the top that we're going into a bear market. You do the best you can, you get out of the market, and you get ready for the next bull market. You wait a year or two, and you start accumulating again at the bottom, guys. And Cryptohopper will help you to do that. Now, what was I going to do? So I'm going to delete this bot. That's not bad. If I'd left $1,000 in a bank account, would it have made $16.63 profit in interest? You can bet your bottom dollar it'd probably be worth less than $1,000, yeah? Especially after a year. Alright, so now, how much has it got in play? It's got only $78 in open positions now because a lot of them have sold. Let's have a good look at the trade history. And there's only like 2 pages because it's only been a few days. Like, load more, come on. So, bear in mind, this strategy, when we started it, Bitcoin dumped for another 2 days after we started this strategy. And even though it was dumping and going sideways, we've still done alright. You know, not smashing, but we've got some nice profits there. Look at that. Decent profits. Very reasonable. What's the least one? 2.47 was the lowest one. Alright, and let's just have a look at the config. Where were we setting our trailing stop loss? I can't even remember. Alright, 3, arming at 3 with a 0.5% drop. Alright, so that means you're hoping for at least 2.5% profit on each position. Alright, but as you saw there in the trade history, this is the beauty of trailing stop loss, guys. Many of them have gone way beyond. About half and half, isn't it? Yeah, and look at that. That's what can happen with a trailing stop loss of that we had. Alright, so when we got about 2.5% around here, down to the bottom end, we've got 2.5%ers. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now, if I left this strategy running another week, it might do even better than $16 every 3 days. Obviously, it all depends on what Bitcoin's doing, doesn't it, guys? You know? I mean, look on the 15-minute chart here. Look what Bitcoin's done since 9:30 this morning, my time. Look at that. It dropped down to there. Dropped down to 59k. Was it 59k a couple of days ago? Where's that? 17th, yeah. We started the bot on the 16th at... I can't even remember the time, guys. I'm sorry. I think it's 4 p.m.-ish. About 4 p.m. It was around here. It was around here somewhere. So it's not even pumped that much, really. It's been more of a downish and a sideways thing. It's pumped there, then it dropped again. So you would think, not using the bot, if you'd have just bought here, 16th, around 4:30. If you'd have bought around here, where is it? If you'd have bought around here at 4:30 and just held until there, you'd have been up 2%. Alright, just on one position of Bitcoin. Alright, but because we've had all this volatility. Alright, so here we are, back in the trade history. Would I change anything about this strategy? Possibly. So would I change anything about this strategy? Well, maybe there's a couple of tweaks we could make, but I'm not going to run this bot longer. We could go for a little bit more profit, because we're in a bull market and you can be a little bit greedier, and maybe give that a 1% drop. Alright, so 4% pump. If it drops back down to 3%, then it sells. Alright, but remember, I've just increased this one as well, which gives it a bit more wiggle room. Bring up the chart. Gives it a bit more wiggle room. So instead of like pumping up 4% and then selling at 3.5%, which can happen quite often, if you give it a slightly bigger drop, if you have 0.5 here, it could sell too soon while it's still really pumping, because you know nothing goes up in a straight line, guys. Let's have a look. Put this on a 1 minute chart, get a bit more action. Nothing goes up in a straight line. You've got these drops and you're trying to make sure that, alright, that's a 0.42. So 0.5 in that situation would be alright, because it would continue pumping up. Alright, and then, you know, if as soon as it drops more than 0.5%, it would sell. That is the beauty of trailing stop loss, guys. So you start here, let's say you bought here, and it comes up and it goes up, let's say 4%, I'm trailing stop loss, and then it drops down to 3 point, it might sell there. It might just sell there in this example. Alright, it could sell there, but then look what happens. It goes up a bit more to 4.5%, and if it came back down to 4%, then it would sell, so you can grab a little bit more profit. However, if you're doing like 4% with a 1% drop, it's going to come up there, reach that 4%. I'm the trailing stop loss. It's going to drop down just a smidgen, 0.5%. So that's not 1%. It would have to drop down to here from 4% before it sold. All right, but it went up to 4.54, so it will drop down to around 4%, and then sell. Alright, but in this case, as you can see, as long as it didn't drop that 1%, which it did, unfortunately, there, but it might not have. If that had have just come down just above 3% at this point here, alright, and then continued going back up That's where you get your 5, 6 and 7%ers, guys. This can happen. Just depends how much that drop is after your arm trailing stop loss happens. And sometimes it wins, as in going up more than your 4%, 5%, whatever. Sometimes it doesn't. You know, 50-50 mix. It's alright, because you're getting out of the trade, and then probably later on you're getting into a new trade. So it's buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Do you get me? There's nothing to worry about. Alright, so I would probably tweak that. Now we're more bullish. Alright, go for a little bit more profit, but bear in mind it might take longer to get those profits, so each position might take longer to sell. It's all balance, guys, as you know, I like to say. It's all balance. Swings and roundabouts. Right? You might get more profits on one specific trade, but you might have to wait longer for that trade to play out to get up to that 4%, 5%, 6%. Alright? But that there, I think, for the market as it is right now for the past few hours, is quite good. It's not bad. And if I'd have set this 3 days ago, well, maybe we would have made even more profits when it rebounded this morning. Alright? Anything else I would change? I think that's still fairly safe. Tripling down is quite aggressive, but it's alright. It has to drop 15%, then it will triple down. So you buy $10 a Bitcoin and it drops 15%, and it does a triple down DCA, so it's going to spend another $20 to turn that $10 position into a $30 position. $30 is triple $10, alright? So that would be one DCA happening, and now your position is only 5% down instead of 15% down, but it's a bigger position. It's now $30. Alright, and what happens when that comes up to 4% and drops by 1% and then sells? You're getting 3% on top of a $30 trade instead of 3% on top of a $10 trade. Which would you prefer? You should not panic sell, guys. When all these things dip, and they will, you know, you've got to get used to these dips. You've got to learn to stomach them. You make more money if you learn to stomach them. If you just keep panic selling every time something goes down a couple of percent, you are not going to make money in crypto or stock market or anything. It is perfectly normal for things to be volatile. You can buy, and then the next day you can see something that you bought yesterday and it can be 10% down. It's all right. You're going to DCA, guys. Yeah. What Cryptohopper does is it buys at points where it's very likely to go up again after that. But sometimes after you buy, some big whale comes and he sells a bunch of crypto, then that drives the price down. It happens. It's perfectly normal. You've got to accept that is going to happen on your journey. You are never ever going to buy at the bottom and sell at the exact top every single time. It is impossible to buy down here and sell up here every single time. You might get lucky occasionally, and that will happen. But it's not going to happen 99% of the time. It will not happen 99.9%. Alright, if you buy at the bottom, you don't even know it's the bottom until it comes up here. You think, blimey, I did buy at the bottom. That's a fluke, guys. Complete fluke. And these flukes do not happen often. Alright, so yeah, I would leave this strategy running at around there with triple down. Alright, and just 2 retries. So that means it's going to DCA only 2 times. So $10 position turns into a $30 position. This is approximate numbers because it's actually going to be slightly less than $30. Probably around $28 after the time it's finished dropping 15%. Alright, so you got $30, and that will triple down again. So what's 3 times $30? It's $90. Again, a little bit less because it's 15% down. All right, which is probably going to be closer to somewhere between $80 and $85 in that one position. But then, because you've only got 2 retries, it's not going to DCA anymore. Then you have to either hold it until it does recover by itself, or you can go back into your dashboard, and you know, if you see a position that's 15% down and it's $80 and it's already been DCA'd 2 times, it won't DCA anymore. That's keeping you safe. It's not going to just DCA every time something drops all the time. It's going to give things a chance to recover by themselves. So if you're sitting at a position that's maybe 10-15% down and it's grown in size and it's already been DCA'd a couple of times, okay, have a look at the charts. Take a look at the chart and, you know, check it out on different time frames. Alright, so that's looking quite bullish now. Look, the MACD's coming up. We've got a green dot, the Fu Manchu cipher B, which is like marking the bottom kind of thing. It's not perfect, but it can be around about the bottom that happens, which is around here. And it's pumped since, and the MACD kind of agrees that it's bottoming out and it's going to come up and cross and then go bullish again. So maybe we're going to do this in price. Obviously there's going to be dips along the way. And the stochastic, is that stochastic RSI or stochastic? Just stochastic. Alright, that's crossed, that's bullish. So yeah, I mean, you can, for those positions that have been DCA'd more times than you'd like automatically, or 2 times as you've set, then you can go, right, well, at my own discretion, I can go, right, I'll DCA that automatically now. You go in there and you create a DCA order. I'll do it now because it's only a paper trading bot. I'm going to delete it. Alright, so look what happens. 3.19% down. Now it's buying. Oh, it's a bloody trailing buy. Might have to wait a while. So let's say that buys and it's tripled down. It's going to take this to about $30 here. Around $30 because there's only 3% down. And once it's finished doing the DCA, it'll probably be around... Oh, it is dropping now, look. So might get in. So it'll probably DCA and bring us closer to 1% down. Maybe closer to 1.5% down once it's finished dropping that bit. Yeah. And that is the whole thing that you can do with the bot. Alright, so if you see any positions that have done a couple of DCAs already, you look on the charts, you think, yeah, the bottom is in. I'll manually DCA that now. And you can do that. Alright, but don't do it too much, guys. Don't make a habit of it. Now, in the last bull run, I made the mistake of, you know, I would see positions just a couple of percent down. I would look at the charts and I'll go, right, I'll DCA that now. Even if it's like just a couple of percent down. And not a good idea because it's spending more of your money, alright, and leaving you less money for real dumps to do the DCAs. Try not to get into the habit of doing what I used to do. Maybe in the last bull run I would see this or this and I'll go, alright, I'll DCA that. And I was doing it willy-nilly, thinking I'd be alright. And most of the time I was alright because I was looking at the charts. But there were those times where I would do that too soon and something was just a tiny bit down. And obviously that position there, $10.05, it's 38 cents. It's nothing. It's not even worth DCAing now. Alright? Wait for it to drop a good chunk before you DCA. Manually or automatically. Look at that drop. You can click on the chart on here as well. Yeah, it's just starting to come down a little bit on the shorter time frames, but on the longer time frames it is still pumping. Look, it's just a temporary drop. That's normal, nothing to worry about. So we'll cancel that because it's not going to go through while you're watching. It's probably take half an hour or something. So shall we set up that other strategy in the same video? No, I'll just leave this video here. I think it's best. Separate video for the new strategy. Alright guys, if you want the secret sauce, 1.05% average profit per day in the long term, guys. You cannot start the bot and expect a guaranteed 1.05% profit the day after, because Bitcoin could be going sideways, it could be going down. I don't know what the market is going to be doing when you start your bot. Alright, and always, you know, even with the secret sauce, before you start the bot, have a look at the charts. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin. Is it going to pump or is it going to dump? You get my picture. Ooh, we've made an extra $1 while I've been recording this video. 16.62. How much was that at before? Let's just refresh this. If you want that secret sauce, there's a link below in the description. It's yours for free if you buy a plan through my link. That's all you've got to do. You know, if you're going to buy it anyway, might as well buy it through my link and get something for free. A good strategy for free. And if I don't see you in the secret sauce, I'll see you in the next video, which will be setting up a new strategy. Haven't really decided what strategy to test out on the next one. I'm going to delete all this. I'm going to start a new strategy running, and hopefully Bitcoin will keep pumping and we'll have some good results for you. So I'll set it up and I'll make a new video for the new strategy. Alright, see you again in the secret sauce. I'll see you again in the next video or on Skype. Alright, like, comment, subscribe. Bye bye guys, thanks for watching.